Welcome, dear children, to today's topic. Today we are discussing grouping of a number of identical cells. In that itself, series grouping. Grouping means we have a number of identical cells. That means identical in all the aspects. Their EMF and internal resistance are same. So n such cells are connected in series. That's what we mean by grouping. So as shown in figure, so this is what we mean by identical grouping of cells or grouping of identical cells. So in such a case, what about the total EMF? What about the total internal resistance, and what about the current flowing in the circuit? The series combination of n cells is connected to an external resistance R. Okay, so here if n identical cells are connected in series, the total EMF will be what? N into E or N into epsilon. Here since it is written E, that's why I used, otherwise you can use the letter epsilon. So N into E is the total EMF, where E is the EMF of one cell. Okay. Then what will be the total internal resistance? Total internal resistance will be N into small r. Okay. So what will be the total resistance in the circuit? NR plus capital letter R will be the total resistance. So current flowing in the circuit will be I is equal to NE divided by NR plus R. This will be the current flowing in the circuit. Okay. So this is what we mean by grouping of cells. Now coming to parallel grouping. So here we have M. So M or N, it's our choice. Here it is taken M. M identical cells of EMF E and internal resistance R are connected to external resistance capital letter R. So positive terminals of all the cells are connected to one point and the negative terminals are connected to other point. Okay, then we can say all the cells are in parallel. Now, what about the current? We will analyze the current. So, since the cells are connected in parallel, their equivalent resistance will be what? 1 by Rp is equal to 1 by R plus 1 by R up to M terms will be there. So, it will be Rp is equal to R by M. So, internal resistance will be Rp equal to R by M. Then the current in the circuit, it will be, since the parallel combination, across each cell, the EMF will be the same as E. So current in the resistance I is equal to E divided by R plus R by M. That is equal to ME divided by MR plus R. So that is what we mean by the current in the circuit. If the small letter r is very much less than capital letter R, then we can approximately write I is equal to E by capital letter R. So that is the expression for current when M such cells, identical cells, are connected in parallel. Now we will discuss Kirchhoff's law. So why Kirchhoff's law? Let me explain. Actually, we already discussed how to solve some circuits using Ohm's law. In previous two sessions, we were discussing problems. In that, we were having simple circuits consisting of 3 or 4 resistances, and we were able to find the potential difference and current as required. Okay, using simple Ohm's law. But there are situations in which the circuits becomes complex and we won't be able to find the effective resistance or equivalent resistance in a simple way using Ohm's law. There are many situations like that where we cannot use Ohm's law to solve certain circuits to find current or potential difference. In such cases, we need to use another laws called Kirchhoff's law. Okay, so that's why we are using Kirchhoff's laws. So actually, Kirchhoff's laws help us to solve certain complex networks, we can say, where many resistances are connected. Okay, so Kirchhoff's law, coming to Kirchhoff's law, there are two laws, Kirchhoff's first law and Kirchhoff's second law. Kirchhoff's first law, it is also called as Kirchhoff's current rule or Kirchhoff's current law, and also called as Kirchhoff's junction law. So these are the three names of Kirchhoff's first law. First law, junction law, or Kirchhoff's current law or current rule also we will say. So what is Kirchhoff's current law? According to Kirchhoff's current law, the algebraic sum of currents meeting at a junction in a closed electric circuit is 0. That means algebraic sum of currents at a junction will be equal to 0, or summation I is equal to 0. That's what we mean by Kirchhoff's first law. So we will take one example. We will consider a junction of electrical circuit at which we have 5 conductors meeting at O. Now we assume that the currents through the 5 conductors are I1, I2, I3, I4 and I5. Okay. So this is the diagram. So here current flowing towards the junction we will take as positive, and current leaving away from the junction we will take as negative. So currents I1, I4 and I5. I1, I4 and I5, they are moving towards the junction. So that is taken as positive. I1, I4 and I5. The rest three, that means I6, I2 and I3, they are going away from the junction. So that is negative. So the first rule at the junction O, it becomes I1 minus I2 minus I3 plus I4 plus I5 minus I6, that is equal to 0. So net current at the junction will be equal to 0, or the current entering the junction will be equal to current leaving the junction. Means current entering the junction is I1 plus I4 plus I5, that is equal to current leaving the junction, that is I2 plus I3 plus I6. That way also we can write. So that is the first rule. Now coming to the second rule. So the thing is this Kirchhoff's law, it is also called the law of conservation of charge. That means it is found to support or inconsistent with law of conservation of charge. Okay. And a consequence, that means there is no source or sink of a charge in between. That is why at the junction the charge cannot be stored or it cannot be deleted there. The total charge remains the same. Okay, that is why we say it is a form of law of conservation of charge. Now coming to the second law. Second law, it is also called as Kirchhoff's loop law or Kirchhoff's voltage law. According to this law, algebraic sum of changes in potential around any closed path of circuit involving resistors and cells in the loop is 0. That means here we have a circuit, closed circuit, which is having a closed loop. Loop means that circuit. involving resistors and cells. So that circuit consists of some resistors and cells. In such a circuit, algebraic sum of changes in potential. So you have cells and resistors. So algebraic sum of changes in potential around any closed loop is equal to 0. That's what we mean by Kirchhoff's second law. So we have summation delta V equal to 0. Summation delta V here means potential difference across the cells and potential difference across resistors. So when we write it separately, we have summation epsilon plus summation IR is equal to 0, where summation epsilon is the sum of EMFs and summation IR is the sum of potential difference across each resistor. So that is equal to 0. Okay. So this is what the second law is. So it is also called as loop law or KVL also we say. So first one is also called KCL. So here it is called KVL, which is voltage law. Kirchhoff's voltage law, KVL. So Kirchhoff's voltage law. So it is found to support law of conservation of energy. So first one is called conservation of charge. Second one is found to support which one? Conservation of energy, law of conservation of energy.